Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Preston here, and this is another video, and this is another quick preview and prediction for this fight coming on tonight. It's not gonna be on any of the normal broadcasting channels like the Zone, PBC, or it's gonna be on this like random channel. I don't know why, I don't know why like somebody else could have promoted the fight, but it is what it is. But anyways, we got Tevin Farmer versus Avery Sparrow. So let's make this a quick video, guys. Let's get it. All right. So first up, we got Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer comes into the fight after a pretty long layoff. His last fight was in 2020, so it was 3 years since he'd been in the ring. But Tevin Farmer comes into the fight with a record of 30 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw, 6 wins coming by way of knockout. He comes into the fight with the height of 5'6", with a reach of 67 inches. Avery Sparrow comes into the fight with a record of 11 wins, 4 losses, 0 draws, 4 wins coming by way of knockout. Avery Sparrow comes into the fight with the height of 5'7", with a reach of 72 inches. Alright, so now let's get to the main part of what the fighters need to do to win this fight and my final prediction. So, Tevin Farmer has good awareness with his defense. And obviously, over the course of his career, that's pretty much what Tevin Farmer is very known for, is pretty good at his defense, and the thing is, I'll get to that later in the video, but, he's pretty good. But what I was talking about, with his good awareness is that because he comes forward and then it's really hard to hit him, and Tevin Farmer has a very good jab, very quick jab, very dominant jab, very quick puncher. This is what I was talking about. Tevin Farmer knows how to walk people down using his defense. And what I mean by that is that, he's not really good at going backwards, and that's one of his flaws, is kind of going backwards, because he's, I'm going to get to that later, but he does really good at walking people down, and whenever a fighter tries to throw a shot, he blocks their shot, with his defense, so he does pretty good doing that. But he does obviously lack knockouts, I wish he would have a lot more stoppages and knockouts instead of 6 fucking knockouts, he tries, but he doesn't try too hard, though. Dude has really not that much power. He doesn't have any power at all. He knows how to hurt you, he knows how to split you open, but he doesn't necessarily know how to knock you out, And he does struggle with intense pressure. And it did show in that fight against Jojo Diaz. Because in that fight against Jojo, Tevin Farmer really struggled with that pressure, because the thing is, Jojo isn't, I don't rate Jojo Diaz that high at all, but in that fight against Jojo, Jojo was putting on that pressure, and he was forcing Tevin Farmer to go backwards because he would hit Tevin with a lot of body shots and head shots and etc. So he would force Tevin to go backwards, and stuff like that. So that's what I mean, that he does struggle with intense pressure. And if you struggle against a guy like Jojo Diaz, it's still, a bad sign, because again, I don't rate Jojo Diaz that highly. Jojo has looked really, really sucky. There's been shit going on in his life, but I'm not going to talk about that, Farmer also panics a little bit. Again, one being forced backwards, kind of like what I just said. And Farmer is a little too defensive sometimes. I wish Farmer can just throw his hands sometimes. And yes, use your defense, but I feel like he's just a little too defensive, It's like sometimes he focuses too much on blocking somebody's punches instead of actually, punching, Because then he'll waste like 5 seconds when somebody's punching him. He just focuses on blocking their shots instead of actually engaging in that sequence, and stuff like that, Now let's get to Avery Sparrow. Avery Sparrow does got a pretty okay jab, He was landing that a little bit against Rolando Romero, you know. So, I mean, he got a little bit of something. Avery is also a good brawler because Avery always throws something whenever he gets in trouble in a fight, you know. And again, proved in the Rolando Romero fight, you know, even though Rolando freaking destroyed him and dominated Avery Sparrow, you know, but Avery still, you know, was still in the fight, you know, and, you know, he was still landing, like shots, you know, and he was like pressing, Rolando, you know, forward. He was pressing Rolando backwards here and there with his punches. You know, so he does have, you know, some technique with that. And he does do good at trying to counter also, you know. And I will give him respect to that because, you know, whenever you punch, you know, he tries to punch you back, you know. It's just he does what he can to survive a fight, you know. But the dude is a little light, is not a little bit, but he is pretty light-footed, you know, and is easy to get dropped, you know, and stuff like that. And he doesn't finish up moving his feet to avoid a punch. What I mean by that is, you know, in a fight when you move backwards and you think you did enough to move backwards, but you still get hit. That's pretty much what I mean. He doesn't like fully like move backwards. He still is in the range of getting hit, you know, and stuff like that. My final thoughts for this fight. This is a good comeback fight for Tevin Farmer, in my opinion, because Avery is a tough fighter. Not saying he's a good fighter, but he will give any of those top fighters, you know, and you're not top fighters, but you know, up and coming contenders a problem, you know. Pretty much what I was trying to say is that Avery would do pretty good because he would give a lot of those like up and coming contenders a lot of problems, you know, and stuff like that. But my final prediction for this fight, is obviously going to be Tevin Farmer because he is the more experienced and talented fighter. And I feel like even if Avery decides to box, his punches, you know, like Tevin Farmer's punches would be quick enough to land. Hold on. You know, he is an experienced fighter, but I feel like even if Avery decides to box, his punches, like, hold on, what the fuck did I even say? Oh yeah, even though his punches will be quick enough to land against Tevin Farmer, you know, against Tevin Farmer, Tevin is still going to easily be the aggressor, and Tevin is still going to land the quicker shots against Avery. So my final prediction in this fight is Tevin Farmer winning this fight by a comfortable unanimous decision. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. I got Tevin Farmer defeating Avery Sparrow by a comfortable unanimous decision. And peace out, guys.